Hey guys, today I want to talk about something really annoying, but first I need to talk about something that I've never talked about to the public before. Only kind of select friends and my husband know. Um, I have HIV, and I have been HIV positive since I was 17 years old. That was 2003. I want to say that again because it's really hard, even today, to say those words out loud. I'm HIV positive. And to some people, and especially in America, they think, oh, well, you can't transmit it as long as you're undetectable. But people don't account for the fact that when I was diagnosed, I was living in West Texas. When I found out, and I was in high school, there is not a single person in the community who didn't find out one way or another within even like a year. For me, except for the people who worked in the institutions that were helping me get my medications and care. I was 17, and I have 6 brothers and 2 sisters. My relationship with them is a misunderstood one. They thought that I thought that I was better than them because honestly, I needed to go to different schools than they did, so that I wasn't a burden on them. I tried to kind of create an air of intelligence and artistry. I found groups of people who accepted me, and honestly, I don't even know if I ever told some of the people that I would hang out on a regular basis because at the time, let's be honest, the only friends I was afraid I would lose over this diagnosis. Because in West Texas, people were uneducated about it. They probably still are uneducated about it. So the way people treated me when I was 17 and then I was going to be a part of the gay community, people used this as an ammunition against me. I remember in the middle of a club one time, one of the drag queens came up to a guy I was starting to see and told him, hey, you better watch out, he has HIV. Of course I hadn't told this guy yet, we hadn't slept together. We really were just now starting to hang out. And eventually I was going to tell him. But that decision was made for me, and it was very clear that very night that that relationship was shut down. It was going nowhere. So just things like that would always happen. It's hard to talk about, sorry. I sort of blame my parents for splitting up and thinking that was okay, and I mean, I guess that was for the best because I had an abusive father, but that meant that my mom couldn't be there at the times that she should, and I was, at the same time, she probably didn't know that I was struggling because I had to keep on a brave face and just so that I could convince myself that I was somebody worth saving. I was going down a rough path early in life, and I met somebody who saved me and introduced me to music and all of its healing qualities, and she kind of abandoned me on the advice of somebody else. You can't hang on to your students or whatever. That's true, but at the time, the undetectable equals untransmittable way of thinking or fact wasn't yet where it is today. So people were still kind of, especially in West Texas, treating people with HIV like we were lepers. Like, if you went to this certain part of the hospital, like, people knew why you were going there. And I was, intellectually, according to what the doctors were telling me, I sort of knew that I was gonna be okay, but at the same time, people didn't believe that. People, including me at my core, believed that my time was limited. For my lifespan was maybe 40 years. A lot of things happened. Suicide attempts. I got married to a man who I feel actually only married me to, because he was a professor of queer studies at the university. He was trying to leave me without even telling me. I found papers with rental options and things like that all over the house, and some other things went down. I cut a phone wire. I took a pair of Fiskar scissors to his piano and to his neck, but I didn't cut him, because here's the thing: people with borderline personality disorder, that I borderline possess the ability to jam a sharp object into somebody's face. So I'm not a psychopath, but I'm almost there, because life has not been cool to me. Now I'm better. I've come to New York, and the doctors have almost convinced me that I'm gonna be okay. It has had a really difficult, or a really strong effect on my view and perception of myself. I remember the first time I moved to New York, and I hadn't been enlightened at all, and I'd go out on dates with these guys, cute guys, nice guys, and at the time, New York was at a point where they were fine. People didn't judge based on this. That's like a lot of the reason people move to New York, is because they need a place to start over, where nobody knows them, and they know that nobody is going to judge them for the mistakes of their past. So anyway, so I would hang out with these guys, and then we'd make out, and we'd get to their house, and then I would say, I don't want to have sex, but I didn't want to tell them why. It was really hard for a really long time, and then eventually I let myself a couple times, and then I would get attacked by these people. I would wear a condom. I would tell them. And a couple of times I would simply kiss a guy. And if I didn't tell them that I was HIV positive, they would lose their just because I kissed them. That's rough. That's rough on your self-esteem. But you know what else is rough? Finding out I have to live past 40. Now what am I gonna do? I wasn't expecting to have to plan for my retirement. I wasn't expecting that I would have the option to have a family of my own. So these are things that I'm being faced with now, and I'm playing catch up all the time, because I wasn't. My parents simply didn't put their eggs in my basket, because it was clear as a child that I was not into girls, So here I am. I spent, I spent 8 years in college. I decided that I needed to do what I love, and that's to sing, to perform while I could, and that was college, So I have like this nearly useless master's degree in music that I'm trying to foray into a different career path. That being said, let me talk about something else. If you have a computer, and that's probably all of you watching this, then you know about the Nigerian Scam. You can always tell in a Nigerian Scam because there's lots of misspellings or misuse of grammar, or you can just always tell when something isn't real. I'll point out misspellings even in the New York Times. And that irritates me. And you know why? It means that we're slipping. As a society, we're letting that slip. When it's the only thing that keeps some people from knowing a real source from a disreputable source. Grammar, spelling. I mean, come on, it's the New York Times. In New York, I've done a lot of jobs, but mostly I've worked in hospitality, and it works for me because, it keeps me on my feet. Otherwise, I'd be depressed and laying in bed all the time when I'm not at work. And it's honest. It's honest work. But I am starting to get older, and my body's starting to hurt, and so I decided, hey, I probably should maybe consider some other avenues. And so I've been sending my resume out to different places, and I've been getting this message back from I think 3 or 4 different people, and it's obviously a Nigerian scam, and that is so infuriating. That it's disheartening to know that there are people who will get in the way of somebody finding a job just to lie to them and get free money. It's messed up. I promised I would be really honest on these videos because I think it's important for my purposes. I want to tell the world what I've been through, and I want to tell the world how I'm getting over this sudden realization that this latchkey child who was raised by wolves is learning the lessons necessary to be successful at life. I have an amazing husband who is my rock and my support. I've always been somebody who wanted to get married. I always have, and that's probably because I never had anybody want to take care of me before. But he wants to take care of me. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about making sure I eat right, even making sure I brush my teeth. I cannot remember a day ever that my parents stood with me and showed me how to brush my teeth. Even my dentists don't bother, but I'm getting there, and I'm starting on this road, and for those of you who are new, welcome. And for those of you who have already liked my page and are paying attention, thank you. I really appreciate the support, and just look out for the next video. Until then. Please like this video and subscribe to Latchkey Brandon on YouTube for new videos.